Alright, hello everyone, welcome back once again to Mania 7 Key World Cup 2026. And once again, we're back with last few couple of matches. We're actually nearing to the end of this entire week of the, I guess in terms of week one of all the matches on the round of 32. And now we are going to be presenting to you this Peru versus United Kingdom as a matchup. I'm Mifa, and I'll also be commentating alongside Sparky. It's been a while since we actually commentated. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic as always. Glad to be back. First time for this year for me, but excited to get a pretty impressive lineup here. It is, as you mentioned, going to be Peru going up against the United Kingdom to see who will be continuing on in the winners bracket of the round of this year's World Cup. And I mean, there's a lot to be said about these two teams. Pretty storied these last couple of years. Tale of two different, I guess, qualifying results. But I mean, if anything's taught me watching 7 Key is never really count out these lower seeds when it comes to round of 32. Everything's kind of up for grabs in this round when you kind of tone down the difficulty a tiny bit, and we can see some surprising things. But Peru has been a very, very impressive team over the last couple of years, so expect them to hold their own. But I
mean,
wouldn't count
yeah. Yeah, a little bit of insight. I think in terms of at least for qualifier scores, at least qualifier scores are at least on somewhat of a realm of higher difficulty levels. So it really seemed to like that UK has generally have much lower on average score in the qualifiers, but it doesn't really say very much, because knowing that round 32 is generally much easier than the qualifiers anyway, so it's kind of whether or not they are able to be consistent on the early game pools as well. But on the other hand, Peru is also like one of those teams that are like literally dark horses of one of the dark horses at least in the entire tournament, because you can clearly see why they are few names on some of the like very, very high difficulty PP rank charts in 7 Key. You can see clearly those names there are present in like the leaderboard, so you can clearly see why Peru has been seated this high, and they are, yeah, I mean, they're potentially trying to get themselves into the podium at that point. So it's really just a matter of where they can actually outshine every single team they are able to withstand in their way.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're already getting into the protects and bans. Looks like the United Kingdom going to protect Rice 4, and Peru already touching on the topic at hand here. They're protecting EX3, and something new for this year is the fact that we do have these EX picks, just something a little bit higher difficulty than than the rest of the pool without being harder than tiebreaker. And the fact that they're already protecting these styles of picks shows that they're maybe willing to go for these higher physically demanding picks this early on. I mean, just goes to show maybe some confidence in the more difficult picks, maybe put the United Kingdom through their paces, just secure something a little bit harder that they can really take advantage of. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom going to ban LN1 as their pick. Unsurprising there as well. LN always seems to be that little little pain point for some of these teams, so maybe pinching that pull a little bit will help them get through some of these picks from Peru potentially.
Yeah, I think in terms of Peru's strategy of overall, I think they're knowing that they are very physically capable of handling all the entirety of the pool. I think Peru's aggressive strats have come into play, because just banning outright one of the rice picks so that UK cannot pick any more than 4 rice picks is definitely very bold. But it's also understandable that you kind of have to just really make sure that Peru's not being exposed to too many rice picks at that point, so UK only has limited options at that point.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how this develops. I mean, opening pick, always the most important one in a tournament setting, you want to really start your tournament off on the right foot. So the United Kingdom going for Rice 3 makes sense. Probably gonna just stick to that upper half of the map pool, just things that are relatively straightforward for them, not have to overthink some of the complicated structures of the EX picks, the hybrid picks as well, and just try to settle into a groove, try to catch Peru out, maybe some inconsistencies, maybe just overthinking some of these patterns. I always like to say, as you lower the difficulty of a map pool, the propensity to either mind block patterns or just kind of lackadaisically go through the motions on some of them can lead to some devastating results. But we'll just have to wait and see if Shiyu and Divisa can potentially get an opening breakpoint, or if UC and Wander Yonder can maybe pull something out of the bag here and put Peru on notice to start this round off.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. Knowing that, I guess in terms of difficulty level on this pick in particular, it's not really that straining overall. The patterns are just very consistent and also very pretty much ascending, descending stairs, kind of rolling in nature. So it doesn't really take too much of an effort just to get an accuracy going, but it really just whether or not you get the full combo, and you definitely has the upper advantage. And I think that clearly shows to every single match that we've seen so far. If you miss like once, and it's kind of you definitely get that kind of deficit that you really don't want to afford.
Absolutely, but getting this one underway, it looks like strong starts from everybody across the board. I feel like this is going to be the name of the game for these Rice picks, like you were alluding to, where everybody can kind of swing these pretty well at this point, especially at this level. So missing, basically not allowed. 200 is going to be interesting to look out for. Just little hiccups here and there as we kind of settle into the grand scheme of things. Already a third of the way through the map, and only 1,000 points in favor of Peru for right now as we continue through this first chart.
Yeah, intro-wise, I think UC does a much better job, but gradually it actually uses the dropping few 200s, maybe getting early hits, because knowing that the hit error right there is pretty much inconsistent towards the left side.
Yeah, just struggling in comparison to everybody else in the lobby. But Shiyu actually finding the first drop over on the side of Peru. Pretty clean drop overall. Doesn't lose too much accuracy considering the fact that we're already past the halfway point of the chart. But with a quarter left to go, Peru's lead shrinking from that 7,000 point margin to about 1,000 points here. No, but Uzi trades it back here, and it's going to restore the cushion for Peru. And that might be a bridge too far for the UK to claw back from the lead, increasing to 13,000 points by virtue of this performance from Divisa, picking up the pieces where Shiyu dropped, and Peru picking up the first break point in this match to make it 1-0.
The drop from UC reverting any single progress that they have made from UK, but otherwise it doesn't really seem that it's going to help on the ratio side of things, given Peru's ratio has been pretty much outshine everyone on the UK, so it's definitely does have the 200 count is also not as like low as you would expect them to do, so not really a good option there, but it's completely understandable. But it's a break point, so Peru's pick being EX2, this is actually a pretty interesting one, knowing it's not really their the first choice for every team so far.
Yeah, this is a bit interesting. They've categorized these EX picks where kind of similar to the hybrids that we've colloquially known, where it's like there's like a Rice leaning one, there's a LN leaning one, there's the more balanced one in these pools, and that'll kind of vary based on round per round. But this one, I imagine, if things were correct, maybe just a little bit more LN mixed, so we might see a little bit more LN in comparison to some of the other EX picks. That makes sense. I feel,
it is categorically. It's just combining every single LN picks into one. So this is just really all there is to it. Even though the density is lower than, like, let's say like LN density pick like LN3 for example, it is just the coordination required to do this is straining to you if you're not really used to coordination levels of that.
Yeah, and I feel like coordination and 7 key really aren't the friendliest of neighbors in terms of throwing them together in a sentence. I feel like everybody tries to max out their capabilities on like density style charts where you can kind of just treat it like a chord stream pick, treat it like a just a single stream pick. But when you actually have to like really hunker down and figure out what key needs to be pressed at any given time, especially at a low BPM of like 110 in this case. Be interested to see how the UK holds up here. If Peru is going to be picking this as an opening pick, they must feel pretty confident in it without having to go straight into their protect.
Yeah, there's a reason why Ellen Coordination and Ellen Release has been fairly low pick counts and even much higher ban counts like that. So it definitely shows that you kind of don't want to mess around with early game coordination because it's just really low density that really messes you up mentally.
Absolutely, and we're starting to see the effects of it here. Wander going to be picking up some early accuracy drops, just some releases all over the gamut here, down into that 98% range, really accounting for the bulk of this Peruvian lead as everybody crosses over that 400 combo cap. It's 11,000 points through the introduction, with all 4 FCs still left intact here.
All they need to do is just to get the combo going and not worrying so much about accuracy, although it kind of says otherwise about the show in this case, because coordination-wise, 99.8 is already very high.
Yeah, Uzi going to be picking up a drop for the United Kingdom, going to help extend this lead for Peru through this first third of the map. The second FC gone for the United Kingdom as well, as Wander finds the miss as well. And I mean, a tale of two different approaches here for these two countries. Peru looking very comfortable on this pick so far. UK trying their best here, but ultimately not able to hold on nearly as comfortably as they try to pick up some semblance of the pieces, but already bleeding over 35,000 points going into this next key ice section. UC finding another drop, gonna help extend this lead once again with a third of the map left to go here.
Yeah, like I said at the very start, that Peru's pick strategy has been mostly aggressive. They are targeting UK's weakness to a certain extent, because you can clearly see why the ban has been the rice picks in general. So limiting UK's options to pick any sort of rice picks that are remaining, and even rice pick doesn't really work for them. But just take a miss there. So there's only one FC left in the Peru side. But at that point, it's like 70,000 points is a monumental gap at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, the misses from Shiyu as they have come down have been so clean. The fact that they're still above that 99.7 mark is something to behold, while Divisa basically just kind of holds down the fort, holds on to the FCs, maybe doesn't have the accuracy to rival their counterpart there, but I mean, you don't really have to do anything special when you're both able to do stuff like this, and Peru are going to successfully capitalize on that breakpoint to make it 2-0.
255. 300s on this though. It's just too crazy to think that this coordination level is just basically the top 5 players that you would able to get for a leaderboard like that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, everybody doing a pretty good job. I mean, even with the misses, it's like it's understandable at this level where it's like you see as the density picks up, sometimes the fingers slip up every now and again. But I mean, when you have scores on the other side like that, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, that's fine. We were probably never going to pick that willingly in our lives, so y'all can have it. As UK is up to pick once again. I was about to say, Protect feels like a good time to unleash it. Here we go, Rice 4 going to be the pick here.
Yeah, it's the best time to do it. If you're the first pick to experiment on isn't really working, then Protect is the only option to escape from any sort of just much more experimentation that UK did have. And I think Core Jack is also one of the fewer stronger suits even for UK. I think in terms of ratio, they can do it if they're able to concentrate every single course that are happening.
Yeah, this is one of those picks where it's like the 300 count numbers are so low that it's gonna be a marvel to see anybody drop. I'm saying that, and now somebody's gonna drop.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry,
yeah,
but
yeah. I mean,
on the flip side,
it is every single core jack in existence, even in
exactly.
4K. It's just basically the same.
You either 1 mil or you miss. Like that's effectively it. It's either one side or the other. There is no gray area. You don't have a middling run. You either hit it or you don't. With picks like this, and I, for one, am excited to see what the scores are going to be on this particular pick.
The if you miss equals you lose situation.
Yes, very much so. We say it all the time with the Rice picks. This one is the quintessential miss or lose pick.
Yeah, it's just literally dead, isn't it? When early game stuff is focused so much on accuracy, you forget that you have to also combo through it. So it just kind of in one mind out of the other.
Yeah, this is... I'm hoping this is going to be neck and neck for the majority of the map. Like, 300 count is basically going to be the determining factor if everybody can FC. A 200... Oh, I was about to say a 200 is going to be bad, but Wander finding the early drop just before that 400 combo cap gets reached is going to be such...
Combo reaching 100% already!
Alright, but... Oh no, Uzi finds the drop as well for the United Kingdom, and that's like, it was already a hill. It's become a mountain to climb for the United Kingdom. They're gonna need misses from Peru at this point, given the fact that Xiu, basically picture perfection, dropping below that 100% mark, which is a ridiculous statement to say. Divisa not too far behind at 9.88. It's back to 100. All right,
it's back against 100.
Alright, so we have two different battles going on here. We have the UK going up against Peru, and it's Xiu versus the accuracy number at this point.
I have no clue what's going on with this 100 pound going on. Actually...
Yeah, Xiu... Alright, okay, they're human. One of those core transitions, not treating them the best. I think they flammed their way through it, and, I mean, fortunate not to break, but... And, I mean, to be fair, with the tiny sliver of map left to go, there is still an opportunity, but 15,000 points would need a couple to go their way. Those early drops from the UK
there's a
just
50!
being... Oh, there's a drop from Divisa! Okay, 11,000 points, there's still left to go. I was gonna say, the drops from the UK were so early that they've recovered their accuracy, both of them above 99.8. It's 7,000 points, but the map runs out.
Wait, what?
Right, 6!
Hang on. 6 300s. That is the lowest count by a half of Botanic, and I believe it was actually not Botanic, actually Rain Lily, and oh boy, that's scary.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I mean, where did that
feels
50?
no. That feels like such a core jack score. 6 300s, 2 50s. Their PB is 2.
You got more 50. You got more 50s and 300s.
That's ridiculous. I'm gonna say it, I don't know how these people do it. I know it's practice, but they want to go to for EX2 again.
It's more than just practice. It's more than just practice.
I know. It makes me feel better knowing saying it, because at some point it's just like, no, y'all are just way too good at this game. Regardless.
I mean, they are technically, but EX3 their Protect coming up. This is putting your opponent to submission basically on this one.
Yeah, this is mini tiebreaker is the way it was described to me. It's pretty hard. We'll have to see. I mean, this is unsurprising coming from Peru.
Yeah.
I was thinking back to last year, and it literally just felt like they saw all the hardest picks in pools, and they were like, "No, yeah, we'll do it. That's fine." So
it is technically what Peru's pick strategy has been so far, picking all the hardest picks just to get your opponent putting out of their misery, pretty much.
yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what the UK decides to do here in terms of. Well, I mean, they really don't have a choice; they have to play it. But how they withstand this particular pick, one of the longer ones in the pool, longest one we've seen so far in this match. 4 minutes of just pure torture, I imagine. Peru going to do this Peru gonna relish every second of this as they look to try and make this a match point situation, capitalize on that second break point that they've picked up, and see if they can really push the UK to the edge early here as we get this one underway.
The BPM is a false sense of hope, but once you get into the patterns, it's just as unconventional as you can get for a mini tiebreaker hybrid.
Already we can really tell this is about a half step up from everything we've seen so far. Just, dare I say, complicated patterns in comparison to what we've seen so far, but everybody handling it relatively well. The UK actually.
Actually, the couple actually trading only shows in Wonder Yonder kind of stabilizing around that front. Actually, at least not that far off even.
Yeah, this is a lot closer than I was expecting. Uzi finding a second drop, Divisa finding the first one in the map overall, but those two from Uzi gonna give Peru a tiny bit of a cushion to work with, but maybe not as big so far as we were expecting. 7,000 points, but it's still early days, about a third of the map. Shiyu actually finding the drop as well, so both FCs gone from the side of Peru, and now it's getting a little bit shaky as we continue on here. Wander Yonder kind of picking up the pieces for everybody in this lobby. The only FC left on the table. Can they do something to maybe pull off a little bit of a surprise here on the Peruvians as we continue on?
Yeah, pulling the lead off purely based on accuracy is really what is needed for UK. That's a massive three-way actually misses on that too.
Yeah, just beginning to dial things up a little bit. 3 people fall. DVs are the only one left standing. The only person with any semblance of a combo at the moment with half the map left to go. Uzi finding another drop for the road. A couple as things begin to ratchet up in terms of overall density. Shiyu trading one of those back, but it's still 20,000 points in favor of Peru. Everybody suffering through that section except for Divisa, who is still holding on to this combo. Not a full combo, but the only significant one so far in this lobby, and it's doing wonders right now.
Yeah, it is just on the teetering edge, on the basically the same score as Wonder Yonder and Shio there, but I guess Divisa already missed there, so not quite it's not quite as strong as you would expect them to, but it's definitely still a sizable lead overall.
For sure, the only massive combo falling as well. Wander finding a drop as these LNs begin to sprinkle themselves into this core stream section. Quarter of the map left to go, and once again, it's like we see the dust settle a little bit on the misses here, and we look back, cast our eyes to the top left corner. Shiyu still with the highest accuracy in this lobby by a considerable margin at this point. The fact that they've been able to keep those misses so clean throughout this match has been something to behold here so far, as everybody kind of trying to get a foothold back in this map. UC and Wander just trading misses between themselves here, and it's only helping extend this Peruvian lead with a tiny sliver of map left to go.
Yeah, I mean, do keep in mind that 0.4% as the next highest of an accuracy, and it's purely just clean drops overall. Not even even like just a massive 200 or 100 Exodus right there, but it's really just what clean misses are for Peru right now, and that is a sizable lead to go off for, and it's now 4-0 against UK, and now we're entering the second ban phase here, so it's pretty interesting to see what UK will ban next. I feel.
Yeah, this will give us a little bit more insight. I mean, importantly enough, I imagine
Oh,
it'll
that's a
probably be
bad roll.
another.
That's a bad roll
Eh,
for UK.
hey, you never know. There's a 3% chance that they
Yeah.
somehow roll lower than a 4.
Hey, 3% in believing. I've seen 3% failures on some other games, but you know.
Exactly. It's like if XCOM has taught me anything, if it's not 100, it is.
Oh,
It's
that
not
was
possible.
that was
11.
close though. That was
It's
close.
closer than any right being.
That was close.
All right. I imagine the UK ban is probably going to be one of the LNs. The only EX remaining is a more rice-oriented EX, so not really the highest impetus to remove it. Peru might just remove something they don't feel like playing.
Oh,
And it's gonna
I mean that's fair enough.
Yeah, I like the reaction from their own teammate for banning Rice 1.
I guess. And banning high Ellen too. Sorry, I mean, I guess it's understandably so.
Coordination.
They don't really want to touch Ellen. Yeah.
Yeah. So, unsurprising for the bans for the second go round, but we'll have to wait and see what the UK's pick. It's gonna be EX1. So,
all right. That's interesting.
I mean, if back to the wall, you might as well go out swinging. Like, if you don't swing for the fences, what are you doing here? And like I said, it's a more rice-oriented EX pick. If they can handle these higher physicality rice picks, maybe they can find something in Peru's game they can kind of latch onto, even if it's just for this one. But we'll have to wait and see.
Actually, I'm wondering, is this the first match that all 3 EX picks has been picked in the first 5 picks?
Maybe. The one
you haven't seen like all 3 EX picks have been picked in like the very first 5 picks, and it's normally you would save it for later or even just maybe ignore the lot.
Yeah, it's we'll have to double check that. You might be right where it's maybe 1, maybe 2, but not all 3. And we got a full switch up here from the United Kingdom. It looks like it's gonna be Spanner Dude checking in, and its collector gonna be as well for the UK. So maybe they have an ace up their sleeve. Maybe there's something we don't know, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very interesting.
We haven't seen the other substitute for Peru, I think, because they're operating on a 3-person team, so there's only 1 person left. I think we haven't seen, at least for this entire match.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see if this mix-up bodes well for the United Kingdom. I, for one, am very excited. I like giving everybody a chance in the spotlight. So, who knows?
Yeah, we got a cameo of a 3EX space. We got a cameo of every single person playing in this match.
Got a little bit of everything. But for right now, we'll wait and see if everybody readies up here. We can get this 5th map underway. see if Peru can close this one out with a third breakpoint, or if the United Kingdom can find a way to get a point on the board. They feel confident in themselves to do this reverse sweep. We've already seen a tiebreaker this round already, so who knows? We'll just wait and see.
Yeah. Let's see what happens, and once we get to sing everything. Although not to have a stronger start of a sync, but you know.
There we go.
Not sure the combo for its collector is like up or to everybody else.
Yeah, it looks like potential early misses for the UK here. It's weird knowing that we just dropped in, not seeing the first couple of notes, and you know how Banjo likes to be sometimes with combo. But regardless, there is a lead for Peru. Spanner Dude finding a drop as the density begins to pick up here. 25,000 points to the good. X Collector falls as well. So now for sure we know that the full combos are gone for the United Kingdom. And as we continue on through this first quarter of the map, I mean, Peru is just running away with it to start things off. Very convincing at this point. 65,000 points to the good, but Divisa finding a drop as things begin to pick up, but traded once again.
This is a game of how much you can pull the lead to over 200,000 at this point, because normally this kind of accuracy at this point is just it's just a game of whether or not how much you can pull the lead further.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, 100,000 points. We've known Peru's been this really strong, this physically capable team. So there probably wasn't really a world in which this would have given them too many issues. And I think they're kind of proving it right now that, yeah, they can handle this. And the scoreline is showing. So, I mean, it was a good effort. It looked pretty close to start things off, but maybe just a bridge too far for the UK here. I mean, thankfully, everybody's in the winner's bracket. They're just going to drop down to that loser's bracket. So no harm, no foul at the end of the day there. See if they can run the gamut from down there. And Peru kind of, we can probably just call this one a bit of a victory lap. You were right, 200,000 points.
Yeah, but it's still, there's still the ending there. So maybe it could go to 300, I think.
Can we get 300? We'll just wait and see. Tiny sliver of map left to go. I think she was holding on to the only FC in the lobby. Divisa not too far behind. The accuracies from them have just been ridiculous. And
it is 300, I think. Maybe. Almost there.
299. Almost. We'll round that up. But, I mean, what can you say? Hats off to Peru. Very strong start for them in this year's edition of the 7-Key World Cup. UK, valiant effort. There were some close moments there. Little nip and tuck through the beginnings of some of those songs, but ultimately just, I mean, it's a really hard round one matchup. And look to see if they can make a run in that losers bracket and see if they can surprise us a little bit moving forward. But
yeah, absolutely. Knowing, I think upon further reflection, I feel like in this particular matchup, I feel like in terms of performance-wise, Peru is a little bit on the, at least on the underside of the performance-wise, because we've seen a couple of mistakes that are happening in terms of consistency. So I might be wondering that I think in the much later game pools, which I think Peru definitely probably scales much better in the late game in these situations. So definitely it's gonna be worth worth watching out for, especially for other teams, because they can actually beating out Peru even in like much earlier in like earlier rounds. I feel like even like around the 16 or quarterfinals, so that sort of thing is definitely an opponent to watch out for, because knowing they are one of the dark horses in the entire tournament, like I said at the very start, it is quite a formidable opponent for sure.
Absolutely. But for right now, this is only the start of a pretty sizable block to round out this round of 32 weekend. I think we're going to take a tiny bit of a break here. Be back in about an hour and a half For the last two matches,
Yeah.
it is going to be Spain up against Sweden and Germany taking on Mexico to round things out. But Mifa, you got anything else left to add here before we sign off?
Yeah. Once we after those two matches that there will be happening at like about 2 and 3 hours tops maybe. There will be of course the coveted round of 16 map pool showcase that are happening after the Germany versus Mexico there. So stay tuned for that as well because round of 16 I've heard it's quite a treat at least in my eyes. Maybe for the people that are also tuning in to watch that. Stay tuned for that as well. So this has been Mifa and Sparky. We're actually signing off. See you and take care.
Take care, y'all.
Skies. Suddenly the deepness can get through. Realize I fall along with you, and we're looking into cold.